and presents. Give me one moment.
So far, looking so good.
So that is 4 successes there.
Looks like it. So
Alrighty,
photography 1 is only 1.
I'm gonna go for photography 3. I'm going to attempt to develop an image of the armadillo in black.
All right, perfect.
And then I'm
You will
going to
now
hand
have the picture ready.
and then I'm going to hand that back to Edmund and just be like, "Trust me, you're gonna have a good shot of that lady."
All right. So, the two of you will take the cab, correct?
Yes.
Yes. The film, is it still undeveloped or is it the actual picture now?
I'm going to say,
It still needs to be developed.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, the two of you will take the cab, and you will find yourselves in one of the richer parts of the city, sort of outside of it on the outskirts, but in front of a great manor. In fact, up front it will say this is the Great House Estate.
Oh boy.
It's the Great House of Great House. Don't forget we still have workers who are doing work on the place.
That is correct. There are actually a handful of workers working on the place. It's as if the place got shot up and burned recently.
Oh boy. Dang, if I knew I was going to the high end of town, I would have dressed up a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm just gonna show this off. We're not using
I
it,
think
but
that would have been hilarious. And they're like in the city, and then wait, we're going to the suburbs. Wait, how many miles away is this? How much is this cab ride?
I'm just gonna be happy I wore my suit today, even though it's quite, toned down color-wise and such.
And Zex just sort of got his university uniform on.
and when the two of you decide to approach the door and ring it up, a butler will actually greet you. Evening, sirs. Would you be the two gentlemen from the detective?
Yes.
Good. I shall announce your presence. Please follow me.
Now, is everybody visiting with me?
Yes, they were. You had recently gotten through with a few plans.
Right. So we had done breakfast. So I'm assuming that's in this afternoon. Okay. So, looking at you guys, which one of you guys will play tennis with me?
Wait, which of us two?
No, I mean the other player characters, Dante, Zamek.
I'll try. Keyword
Okay.
being try.
What's your athletics die?
Let me.
Yeah, why don't you both give an athletics roll real quick?
Okay.
You can do the roll while I'll describe. You were brought out to the back side of the estate where there is a fine, lavish garden accompanied with a tennis court. There are two people out there playing, and one of them who's I'm going to assume is probably sitting by nature of being an old man.
Sure.
So it's just athletics, no body or speed, or what about?
Yeah, you can. It's body athletics.
Well, it's tennis. Do you think speed would apply?
Yeah, absolutely. Body speed athletics.
I don't know how I got Mark there. Let me just put.
James breaks out into a completely panicked sprint and gives you the match of the week right here.
Mr. Green, I dare say you hustled me. You say you've never picked up a racket before?
I'm just familiar with the game.
Yes. You see, I don't have a badminton. I actually have a tennis court because I'm rich.
Zex sort of taking in his surroundings and just sort of like muttering to Edmund, it's like, somebody's got money.
Oh.
Madam of the house, these two are the ones that you asked for. I believe Edmund and Zechariah were their names. Is that correct, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yep.
If there's anything else you need, I will be ready here in the kitchen with snacks.
And
Evening for brunch.
Well, I'm assuming he brought out my iced tea. I just worked out.
Ah, yes, it's still right over there on the table, ma'am.
What? What kind of butler are you? I'll go get it myself.
I'm sure 5 more feet of exercise won't hurt you, ma'am.
Probably not. You'll have to excuse me. I'm glowing as I'm a woman and do not sweat.
And I'm just
Actually, you did pretty good, man.
Also, you're fired. Never talk back to me again.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. My name is Claudia. I'm a member of the... What is the official name of our book club again?
The Curious Investigators Club.
The Curious Investigators Club. Don't we have something like more classy than that?
You could definitely make it more classy. It's not like you aren't the only member.
What's the name of the library that we meet at?
The Eastwood Municipal Library.
Eastwood Municipal Library. I'm gonna go with the Eastwood Book Club. Is what I'm gonna go with.
There you go.
The Eastwood Book Appreciation Society. There we go. Yes, I'm Miss Greathouse. I'm one of the members of the Eastwood Book Appreciation Society. This is Mr. Gunn.
Green.
Mr. I don't want to say Gunn. Mr. Green, Mr. Dante, Mr. Zamek.
He is not present, and in fact has been missing for a day or two.
Well, Mr. Dante, then.
A pleasure. Then I'll tip a tall hat.
Zach will give like a polite little nod. He's not exactly used to being in high society.
I mean, I'm sitting in a chair, but I'm wearing a fancy suit, and I'm like leaning both hands over onto a cane, a walking cane.
And Zach is the college student.
Yes. Please don't think of us as
Yes.
high society members. Think of
Yeah, I'm just thinking, fellow alumni.
Haven't graduated yet. Still studying.
Well, it's still good to see. Well, I've recently graduated, but it's still good to see someone there. Do I recommend?
I would say you probably would sort of remember seeing the face of a lower classman once or twice.
Yeah, it's like. In fact, I think I remembered you when we were lower class.
Psychology 101, maybe?
Maybe I was taking general courses.
I remember my time having to fill out requirements.
Oh, I have a vested interest in that field.
I appreciate you coming out here on such short notice. Please enjoy some. I'd like you to enjoy my hospitality. I understand from Mr. Why does his name go out of my head? So many people to keep track of. I understand from the agency that they said you had some materials, such as photographs, that you wanted to present to me.
Zach is going to kind of look to Edmund. I mean, the film's technically his property. It's not his right to give it up.
I mean, I've took pictures of the scene, but this is supposed to be for the paper.
Which paper is that? The Herald Examiner?
Out of character, that would be my place.
That
of
is
business,
correct.
right?
The Herald Examiner, the biggest and only paper in town.
Yes.
The Herald was the biggest paper, and the Examiner was the second largest paper. Now they're one huge paper.
Yes.
Yay, merges.
Antitrust? What's that? Well, are you under contract to present these photographs? Did they have you, with non-disclosure?
No. They just sent me out there to see what happened. They didn't make me sign nothing or anything, really.
Does the camera belong to you?
The
Actually-
answer to that is no.
No.
That does make it a little tricky because technically the photos would be property of the newspaper. Let's see. I'm sorry, was Zechariah, was it?
Yes.
May I call you Zach?
Yeah, that's fine. People call me Zach for short. My full name's a little bit hard to pronounce.
But it's actually Edmund who owns who has the camera, right?
Yes, I have the camera and the film he touched.
Edmund, I'm sure that whatever pictures that you took would be of minimal interest, to the public at large. Also, I happen to have a photography lab here on the estate. You can keep the negatives. I'm prepared to offer you a reward for the actual pictures themselves.
I mean, I wouldn't mind negotiating with you.
To the heart of the matter then. Well, so how much does a salary? How much of a salary does someone who takes photos for the 13th page of the Herald Examiner get?
I'm going to raise it up just a little bit. So that would
Sounds to
be
me like you want to
right?
negotiate with me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go ahead and put our mind in negotiation on the table.
Yeah, I'm totally down for this. Let's see how it goes.
Aha!
Zach is sitting this one out. Like the
Claudia
film-
starts with a lowball offer of $200.
It's one of my favorite jokes from the Jim Carrey show. How much are you offering? $491.16. How did you get such a precise figure? As a rich person, I've spent millions to find out what poor people think is a lot of money.
Nice. So would you like me to roll for this?
Mind and negotiation would be what you're looking for.
Mind and negotiation, okay.
You could also argue that your career is relevant to it. My career of rich person is not.
I would
Yeah.
definitely say so.
Yeah, I would do that too. I'll add my career.
Yeah, because your career is at least 3 skills, but it could be other things if they're appropriate.
Right. All
Would
right.
I be able to roll deceits because I'm kind of fibbing the price?
You don't have to. I'm just gonna give you all the money you asked for. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I've rolled a 1. I don't know the value of money.
That's fine. With the 5, I guess I win, or do you want me to keep going?
I would probably give something like $50, which honestly is about like $1,000 today.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I think that would probably still be double your salary.
I'm totally
Zach's
fine with that.
Zach's gonna kind of look to Edmund and be like, "Do I get a cut?" It's like,
I
hey.
believe you pointedly said that the camera was not your property. You can divide this money up among the two of you. Mr. Green, could I ask you? I know you won the tennis match, but could I ask you for a favor? Could you develop the photos for us?
I'll try. Of course.
I shall
you
lead the
keep
way
it-
to the lab
yeah.
for you, sir. Follow
Do
me,
you have
Mr.
a-
Green.
Do you have photography, or did you sell that back?
So what? Let me check.
I think you still have it, last I recall.
Yeah, I thought you got the gift of photography.
I think I did. Let me.
Yes, Mr. Green here is a professional photographer.
No, I got increased career.
Oh, okay. Well, Mr. Green here is a professional photographer, and I have complete faith in his skills to develop film.
Sure. I of course, I'm sweating like a.
Does anyone in our party have craft? Any of us?
No.
Okay, none of us know how to develop film.
Mr. Green, would you require some assistance?
Yeah.
Very well. Tap my cane on
Zach
the
is
ground.
just going to sort of make a vague comment here. It's like, if you ruin the film, I might be able to help.
Do not worry, I have never ruined film in my life.
All right.
I've also never
So-
messed with photo.
So it sounds like we have a two-man job, and the butler will be assisting you. The butler will go ahead and give you a D8 for the final roll, but Dante, were you taking the lead on this or being the assistant?
I'm actually doing nothing.
Oh, okay.
You're awesome.
You are going to follow them upstairs and hawk over their shoulder. Green, would you like to go ahead and give me a mind and craft roll?
I mean, Zach can attempt to assist.
Before he attempts, I'd just like to take a quick look at the film first, in this dark room that we're in.
Okay. Once you have the negatives out and they're in the proper lighting so as not to ruin them, you can get kind of a very, sort of fuzzy picture right now of someone you've seen before for brief moments.
That the assistant?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Sure, that's all I wanted to see. I'll step
Alright.
back.
You have seen what you wanted to see. Green, go ahead and give me a roll. You have one success, and you can roll an additional d8 because the butler is trying to help you. Two successes. After about an hour later, you come out with two pictures. One is a terrible, blurry mess of what looks like a drainage runoff and a bunch of black smears. The other one is a very crisp and clear picture of Jennifer Osborne, who actually you have no idea who this person is.
Jennifer Osborne.
But when you bring it downstairs, I believe Claudia very particularly remembers this person.
Yeah, I got
Slowly I turn, step by step.
It's like, okay, All we got with this, and I show Claudia.
I would conceal my rage using my deceit, but I don't have any of that, so I'm just literally angry with rage. I know who this is.
Oh, you recognize the anteater?
I wish I could recognize the other picture, but that's not. Is that? Yeah. Wait,
The other picture is just an incomprehensible mess of sewage runoff.
I thought she was an armadillo.
But this one is just an armadillo.
Oh, sorry, I meant armadillo. I get those two confused.
Why, yes, I know who this is. This is none other than noted con artist Jennifer and suspected arsonist Jennifer Osborne.
I am remembering this for sure.
Well, I don't have any evidence, only any hard evidence, other than the hearsay of what I've observed. But yes, Miss Osborne happened to show up at several of the fires that had been raging through the city. Apparently, she and her operation have been buying properties and insurance on them and then burning them to the ground. Or worse.
Would you be willing to go on the record with these allegations?
Of course not. I don't have any evidence. The only evidence, we have a photograph that looks so good it might as well have been staged of somebody at a chemical dump site.
I have a
You were also
question.
at the chemical
Zach,
dump site.
upon seeing that photograph, is just sort of he's wearing like the most shit-eating grin ever. Like he's thinking in the back of mind, is like, holy shit, it actually worked.
I have a question about how photographs are developed in this era. Is it the kind that if you touch it, they get all smudgy and get ruined super easily?
Not after they've dried. So
Okay.
probably the emulsion isn't dry on this yet.
Okay. Could I
be careful,
see that other picture? I believe I see something there.
Oh, this one. Oh, it seems to have not been a very good shot, I'm afraid.
Oh, it's fine. I think there's something here. And I'll start pushing my fingers, my thumbs, into the picture.
Uh-huh.
And I'm literally going to do what somebody just did a minute ago.
Yeah, I'm just
All
gonna
right.
say, has anyone explained to Dante how photos work?
Well,
Round two.
the thing is that I've also seen this person, and I've seen them doing bad things.
So let's go ahead and get that roll. Ooh, that's a lot of dice. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3.
I understand why we fight evil. We could just be like forging documents.
Yeah, we could just blackmail anybody, right?
And yeah, James would not be happy to hear that. He's gone into his role because of a con artist.
Well, let's go ahead and see what Dante's up to. Dante has 3 successes. You were doing PK, weren't you? Yes.
Yes,
you were.
but you also remember that during the events of the factory incident, I was pretending to be one of the factory workers, and as
That is
such,
correct.
I was in a position to see things that were basically unaffected by the chaos going on around me. So
Correct.
when she went crazy and started attacking the woman in black and fires and explosions started going off, I had the perfect eye view of that.
So, all right.
So
You go ahead and start working on the image of that from your head.
Right, and to the everybody else, it would make, I guess, except for maybe one person, it would look like I'm smudging the picture around and correcting things to make it start to look like a regular picture.
Indeed, and as it starts smudging, the picture becomes so much clearer, as not only do you see Jennifer Osborne hand raised and a large metal pipe flying in the air overhead. The pipe appears to be targeting another woman in black
Where are
with
you
a
putting me in
black
the
mask
photo?
on inside of a fully constructed factory. Not at all like the rubble pit that you were at.
Hey, wait a minute. This picture can be anything Dante wants. Dante, are you incriminating me?
What are you talking about? It's their film. How did they get this picture?
I'll roll my eyes.
Zach is kind of fold his arms. He's suspecting something's up here, and it's like, I'd like to know that as well.
Well, this is obviously Miss Osborne up to her tricks. I have no idea who this other person could possibly be. This might be that mysterious figure that people have been talking about.
Gasp, you don't mean the woman in black.
Yes. Well, they're both wearing black.
Oh dear, don't say such things around here, ma'am. We don't need that sort of riffraff to...
The women in black.
The women in black. Yes. My favorite adult film.
No, that's the reverse.
I was hoping you'd get a photo of somebody else, but no, it's got to be me.
Well, that to be fair, that was the GM describing that. I was going to do the one where she's standing next to the furnace just before it goes up, or rather, as it's going up.
Yeah, you have 3 successes.
She was never quite over there.
But she was actually in the doorway just before it went up, because then she runs out with Mr. Wonderful.
Yep. I was hoping for a picture of Mr. Wonderful or the ogre. That would be awesome. Who, by the way, is still at large, which don't think I haven't forgotten about that.
I mean,
No, I haven't either.
Zamek has to be running from something.
There's bad things going down at the brewery. Well, this other picture isn't really that important, obviously, but yes, this woman, Miss Osborne, is a notorious confidence criminal. The fact that they're still in the city means that all of our citizenry are at risk. They work for another crime boss, whose name I wish I could tell you. I only know he goes by the nickname of Mr. Wonderful.
Is that not his name?
Well, perhaps his parents were Mr. and Mrs. Wonderful. I can't say. They must have made a really big impression when they got off the boat at Ellis Island.
I too would like to also meet Dante's parents sometime. Mr. and Mrs. Wonderful.
No, Mr. and Mrs. Original.
Original, yes.
What do you mean?
Just a joke, sir. Just a joke.
Just a joke, right.
The
So,
is
yeah.
not my middle name.
So they were at the brewery looking for things. The brewery was their last repository of crime. And of course, they always return to such scenes, as criminals are a cowardly and superstitious lot. Do Did you happen to see where they, after they left the scene, did you notice a vehicle they were in or what direction they traveled?
Oh, more.
Zechariah will pull out the little scrap of paper that he
I'm
wrote
gonna
down.
put my hand out and lightly hold his hand. We know where they took whatever they were doing at.
It's like, are you really going to try and extort more money out of them?
No, not at all. If this kind lady would do a sit down with me, I would gladly tell her more. No money.
Well, please, why don't you come into my 2-story foyer here, sit on my plush furniture and enjoy my imported teas and perhaps some of my legal wine that I stock in my cellar, and tell me the details that you know.
Sure. With that, I would move my hand away, let him look at the paper.
Well, Zach took down the name and address of the place.
Well, that I already know.
Yeah.
But you saw the vehicle they left in.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll take that down. Did you happen to get a license plate?
Zach will be like, I might be able to get you one. Can I see some film?
Well, we'll return your film to you.
Oh, he'll look at Edmund and be like, I need more film.
Again? Fine.
Now it's getting weird because now you guys are like, I'll just go get some film. There's a license plate. Off you go.
Well, it's like, well, Zach's already
in front of me, are you?
Huh? Yeah, I don't know.
So you're not even going to front, are you? Be a shame if I was a professional monster hunter.
Well, Zach's already suspecting that something weird's going on with the photograph that Dante touched. So
what I did was cleared it up. Yes, this is
I'm
all.
sure Edmund must be weirded out that neither of the pictures that developed were from any of the angles that he saw.
I know. It's like I'm surprised Edmund hasn't questioned that at all.
Well, I did take a picture of the lady in black, so
yeah, but the picture that came out looked like it had been staged and done professionally. It definitely wasn't something taken as you were in a panic running away.
I never really took pictures before, so I have no idea. I just know I aimed it at the lady and I got a picture.
He's a natural talent.
That picture does give me an alibi because I wasn't there.
So I guess I don't know. I guess Zach isn't necessarily trying to hide anything at this point. So.
So I guess you go back to the lab to make your fake photograph.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, if you're not trying to hide it.
I mean, I guess I could go to the lab.
You still have to develop the film, so you.
Yeah, I guess I could go. I guess I could go to the lab and put it as the front, as it was another picture we took that we forgot to develop. So
back to the lab, everybody.
So there's
good. That's. I mean, having a photography lab in your house is easy. You just paper over the windows.
Oh wait, I just happen to have this other picture we took.
Well, it's not like you're using the fourth bathroom, ma'am. I figured it would be perfect for the lab.
I'd agree. Just pour those chemicals down, the plumbing. I'm sure they're safe in the water table.
So that's 4 successes.
They'll react well to the lead in the pipes.
That's enough for a photography 3 of the vehicle and hopefully the license plate.
It was a truck, right?
Yeah.
It was a regular car with a large trunk. Big enough for exactly 1 barrel.
Wow. They have you working the page 13 beat? You're professional photographers taking some of the best photos I've ever seen, especially of events that would have been impossible for you to witness.
Not necessarily. I mean, Zach witnessed them loading that truck up.
This is true. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Indeed, you have a very clear picture of them dipping the barrel into an orange runoff river and hauling it into the car.
All right. Well, make a note.
Zach is just kind of look at Edmund because I know Edmund didn't take that picture and just kind of whisper him don't ask questions.
What picture? The license plate or?
The one of them dumping the I would have the truck and the license plate in it, but the picture of them dumping the barrel into the runoff.
Wouldn't that be my first picture when I peeked over?
Maybe
It would have, but oddly enough, it developed third
It
out of the
developed
two
into-
pictures you took.
into a weird thing.
Yeah,
No,
I have no idea how pictures work. That's okay.
Gentlemen,
Okay.
your talents are wasted on page 13. I could get you on page 1, expose the arson ring that's been around the city. If we find this car, we can find one of Tricoga's most wanted criminals.
Oh God, Edmund's getting a swollen head, and he doesn't realize he's.
he
Oh,
doesn't
boy, he's
realize
unlucky
he
to
doesn't
fucking-
realize that Zechariah has been developing the film for him this whole time.
No,
You know, I feel kind of sad because I employ Mr. Green as he's the world's worst debunker, as in everything he takes photos of is an actual supernatural event.
Okay. And I need to step away for like 5 minutes here to use the restroom.
well, from my perspective, I took a picture, I took another picture, and they look like pictures I saw in the little viewer thing.
Well, we're gonna have to go looking for this car, and so either we're gonna have to like look through the streets. Is this a unique car, or is this just a car with a big boot?
It's just a car with a large boot. It is not unique.
And finding the license plate and where the car is registered might not help us because Miss Osborne is a notorious confidence artist. But we know the vague direction they went, and that I suppose that couldn't hurt it. That could help. But
I actually followed them after they took the barrel, and I found where they were at actually, or where they took the barrel to.
I'm just going to blink a couple times and say, well, we should probably get there as soon as possible to see what they're doing, because as I mentioned, they're notorious insurance scammers. They burning down hotels and also possibly this brewery for more insurance money. They could be planning something even more nefarious.
I told your dear that we shouldn't leave, but he was quite persistent. I'm sorry.
Well, let's go ahead and head out at once.
How do you respond to
Have a
somebody?
car brought around, except I don't own one.
How do you respond to somebody calling you by your species?
Nah.
I told you you're deer. So, wait a second.
What?
It's
Yeah.
furry convention to refer to people by their species.
Is it? Okay. Just seems weird to
yeah.
me.
Alright.
It seems weird to me too, but I'm.
I told your red man that we were going to. Like, wait, what?
Not gonna go there. Just edited a huge bunch of fiction books, and that's what people do. It's no more. It's like calling someone an elf.
Anyway, Griff said be right back anyway, so we're just filling air right now.
Yeah, I'm back here.
Yeah, well,
All
Griff
right,
also said be right back. Also, I'd like to do something before we step out, so I gotta wait for Griff to come back.
Oh, what are you planning to do?
Just
Having-
a remark. Sorry.
Having
Go ahead.
not done something like this before, would like to try and portend our future.
Oh, that's right, because
Ooh.
you're Dante the original. You can tell the future.
A
Right.
future role.
Yeah, so I was waiting. I was waiting for you to get back, Griff. So yeah, I'm gonna try
Yeah.
and make that roll
I don't
now.
know. Before Dante does that role, I do feel the need to make this remark. I find Edmund is not a very good reporter if he just had a random college student jump into his car and didn't question it at all.
Who hasn't just let random college students jump into their car before?
To be fair, I wanted to be able to tail the car. I didn't have time to be like, hey, get off my car, and then lose them.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes.
Precognition, level 7.
Oh boy. I'm going to have to go over there and just make sure that I'm going to do this right. Let's take a look at what you get, because it's going to be great. Precog 7. Like 5, but clearer. After telling you the vision, you may tell the host whether or not you want to stop the event from happening, or if you want it to happen. Let's see. So, what exactly are you trying to see the future of? A place, an item, a person?
What happens when we go to investigate this vehicle?
So you were trying to see the future of your future, going to investigate.
Right.
Let me go ahead and think for a moment on that, because that's not exactly where I plan things go. So let me see.
You could say we're all horribly killed, and then ask Dante if he wants to stop that.
Actually, yeah. You see yourself heading into a building in the dark. It is nighttime, and as you step in, you hear the sounds of whirring machinery, and suddenly also the sounds of gunfire and electricity as you and your friends collapse dead.
All right. I imagine that at some point I sat back down in the chair and I've had both hands over the cane and I've been eyes closed, head down this whole time. And as everybody starts talking about leaving and then heading towards the door and whatnot, I say, I do not think this will end well. I spent time speaking to them that time that we went there. I'm talking towards Claudia at the moment. That time that we went there. There are dark things afoot, as you know, and I believe that if we go after this, we will surely die.
So Dante, I have a quick question. As game host, would you want to stop these events from happening?
Yeah, I would want to stop it, which means I give a D8 assist bonus to anyone who will heed my crazy ramblings, and a D8 penalty to anyone who works against us.
There you go. So go ahead and write that dead at the warehouse.
Well, I'd rather not die. But Dante, you know that I'm not the kind of person who can stand idly by as people burn and dissolve our citizenry.
I just wish you to know I have a bad feeling about this.
I can hear your warning, and I've known you, that you have wisdom and sight beyond that of anyone I've ever encountered. But on the other hand, we have to stop them. You know what they're capable of. You know what they'll do.
Indeed I do. But tell me this. How do we help people after we're dead?
I'll come back as a ghost. Boo.
To enter the lion's den, not very wise.
Well, we have to do something.
Wait, that's not something we would say, is it?
I suppose entering their stronghold is out of the question. But we can at least go observe them. That worked pretty well from a distance, and actually, honestly, engaging them did not work very well at all.
I mean,
They did shoot at me when they saw me, so they are armed at least.
I'm just gonna pause a moment and think, we sat here developing the photos for an hour and going over all this stuff, and now you mention that they shot at you. That does sound like them. They like to shoot people. And worse.
Yes, but we already knew this. This is not new.
Well, Dante, I can't ask you to come with me. I've already asked too much for you. But you know I can't stand idly by and allow these malefactors to engage in their craven malfeasance.
I mean, I'll raise a hand. A very slow old man hand to your shoulder. You helped me to rescue my childhood acquaintances. I am always in your debt, Claudia. I will be there when you need me to be.
Well, Edmund, Zach, thanks very much for sharing this information with us. As I said, these people are of interest, and you should be watching them because they will. They have killed before, and they will kill again. Oh, and here, take this. It's my card. It's a private hotline that rings the house directly. This number is for your use only. And I give them calling cards.
Edmund and Zach, what do you got to say to that?
I'm a coward, so I'm gonna be a little bit wary of it. So I am gonna heed the warning.
Yeah, Zek is definitely not going to try and be taking these people on alone. He's sort of standing there with his arms folded, furrowed brow. He has a very intense expression on his face, like he's trying to decide what his next move should be, but considering the fact that he feels like he's in way over his head here. But he'll take the card and he'll give a nod and be like, I'm interested in the events going on at these factories for very personal reasons that I'm not quite comfortable going into right now. But if you need a hand, I'll see what I can do for you."
I appreciate that. You're very insightful for someone so young. I'll attempt a pleasant smile.
Zach will kind of give you a little grin.
Yes.
Oh,
Smiling, it's what puts people at ease. And not baring my teeth. Well, let's call you a cab and get you back to wherever it is you come from.
I'll go ahead and just do a little bit of DM interjection here. Of your party goal at the moment is to investigate the entity. I would like to make sure that everyone actually goes together.
Well,
I'm not quite sure how to rationalize that immediately, other than would you like to come along?
well, I told them, they know where it is, and I told them they should go watch it. After they leave, I'm gonna go watch it.
Right. Well, I mean, it's like a change of group goals away from like the entity towards like the things happening around Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful.
I know.
Shit.
And I mean, my advice did say you will die if you go there.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I can't stand how they lie. I know what they're capable of. They've killed innocent people and children.
Zach,
Plus, I'm stronger now.
Zach is
Very strong.
Are you stronger than yesterday?
Well, I'm more inquisitive than yesterday.
Anyways, I haven't picked up my notes yet, so I have no idea about the entity stuff. Out of character, I mean, because I haven't been back to the stage yet.
Yeah, so basically my goal is to get these guys out of the house, then go sleep, because I have to do that, and then go check out the place tonight.
Yeah, currently it's still about brunch time. It hasn't even quite hit noon.
But she has to go to sleep, otherwise she won't be able to stay out all night fighting crime.
This is very true.
Right, that's the plan.
So, Claudia, you want to go to sleep. So, I'll go ahead and go down the list. What would everyone else like to do right now? Dante.
I apparently have to go back to my theater.
You do? Okay.
Apparently there's a bunch of notes there about, I don't know, rituals or something that I have to have on hand.
Alright, so you'll go back to your theater to go gather up some of Zamek's notes.
Yeah.
Particularly, I know the one you're looking forward to.
Yeah, well, because he said it would be there, so I have to assume it's there.
Right. Don't wanna have players actually lose information here. Alright, so that's 2 people covered. James, what are you going to do for the time being?
Go back to Eastwood, talk with, who's the horse lady again?
Emmett.
Just chat with them, that kind of...
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say that since you're going to spend time with her, I will go ahead and have her opinion increase of you. Because you came by willingly to the library. So I'm going to go ahead and put Emmett Olson up at a D10. There we go. So you will have a nice time at the library. You can chit-chat about various things. And she'll even say that, oh yes, I got a phone call just this morning. they said that they were very excited about these pictures, and they wonder if you might have even more you can send along the way.
Hmm. Do I? I don't think so.
You don't yet.
Not yet, but yeah, but I'm not. Unfortunately, not at the moment. But who knows? Maybe in the future.
Of course. Well, they did set that they are sending the check, and it should be here in just a few days.
That's nice.
I've also considered maybe we could send some of these to the Herald Examiner too, but I wonder if they would actually accept it.
I hear this and going, I've actually met a reporter about that. I should speak to him about.
Oh, would you? Well, that would be great if we could get some of this published more widely.
Yes, but we need evidence for it, and and unfortunately, I don't have it at the.
Of course, I remember the last time one of the reporters came by here and didn't have evidence. And she crosses her arms and harumphs a little bit. So rude, too.
Well, what can I? Hey, I would have been like them as well if I.
You're right. I shouldn't expect too much out of people. But still, we know what happened. Well, you weren't there, but Claudia and Dante were. And she will go ahead and spend a moment reminiscing to you about the event where the entire library got buried.
And I go, and I'm just going,
Not
Yeah, I am
you too.
like no, I'm listening. It's like I am. So there were dirt, and I'm, it's like I know you're not lying. It's just, I'm just trying to think of all the.
Just hard to believe, isn't it?
To say the least, yes.
If only there was some sort of evidence. Oh, be careful the crack on the sidewalk on your way out. It's gotten a little deeper this week. And then we'll head over to Edmund and Zach. What are you two planning to do?
Well, Zach doesn't have any hard cut plans at present. Suppose he'll scribble down his contact info for everyone in case people need to reach him at the dorms.
Of course.
And I probably head back to campus for the time being. He probably has some classes that he might be running late for.
That is true. As any good college student, you've tried to avoid the morning classes and have evening classes instead.
Yeah.
What exactly do you study is a question.
I was going to say psychology, just because that's the closest field I could think of that might have ties to his own personal abilities.
Okay, so you've been studying heavily into that. You're maybe about halfway through your career here.
Mhm.
And you have other dependent classes. You have math classes and literature, and of course a biology class.
Mhm.
And a very grumpy graduate student Lion happens to handle that one.
Mhm.
Someone named Nicholas East.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't have much going on about that, but you can go ahead and attend your class today, get your responsibilities out of the way, and feel free.
Okay.
And Edmund.
Well, I think if the lady lets me, I would love to hear more about the lady in black. I'm not gonna put out there yet that that's what I'm here for, but just try to get all the information. If she'll allow. If not, I'll go back to my place and start typing everything down, writing everything out.
Claudia, are you willing to have an interview with a reporter?
Sure. Not as the woman in black, but as Claudia Greathouse.
Of course. He's just going to ask some questions. Edmund, what do you have as a reporter to ask questions? Do you have mind and questioning?
I have questioning. Yes, I do.
All right. So you could go ahead and roll that. And Claudia, what do you have to like keep your association with the woman in black to a down low? Do you have deceit?
I don't have deceit, but I do have disguise.
All right.
So I can keep identities a secret.
That is perfectly acceptable. So you could roll your mind and your disguise die and see if you can keep it on the down low and say, well, that couldn't have possibly been me.
I have a photo. After all, that photo they just developed,
Right.
had me at the dump site during the morning when I'm clearly were here with several witnesses the entire time.
So wait, just to make this clear, the lady in black is this character? Or is it a different character? The armadillo.
Out of character, I have been running around performing acts of vigilantism while wearing black. But people
right, and out of character, the paper has reported on a woman in black who is some sort of fox.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So right, so my thinking is armadillo is the lady in black, since I don't know. So I don't suspect her.
She might be, but I can't actually. I'm not very good about lying about that because I'm not a very good liar. So instead, you're going to interview me, and my goal is to be a useless interview.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So go ahead and give me that question roll, and give me that disguise.
Right, because I shouldn't actually be able to tell you anything about this woman because I've never actually met her.
Right.
Blink, knock on wood. 2 successes with a roll of 10.
That's looking pretty good right there.
I'm also smart.
Oh, I have one better for you. I have marks in questioning. How does that up the?
How many marks do you have in questioning?
I have 3.
3
That's
marks.
An extra D8 then.
Yep, 3 marks is a bonus D8. You can get dice from careers, which cost 10 points to buy and apply to 3 skills, or you can also buy skills with marks, which cost 4 points apiece and give you like 1 die. So you get like a group discount for buying a career, but on the other hand, more dice is better.
Indeed.
Right. So I would do my D10, which is my career die, plus 2D8.
Apparently, wow, it's almost like you're a professional reporter. You have a D10 in your career and they have you doing page 13 work?
I'm a loser, so.
Just cue back to the montage of you broke the camera again?
That's 3 successes, so I probably would, even though I might have rolled higher, you'd probably ask me a lot of questions and my story wouldn't hold a lot of water.
Yeah, you wouldn't get anything conclusive here, and you feel very suspicious about the associations and the lack of answers.
Look, I just know
Claudia is correct. That photograph definitely shows her there, the woman in black there in the morning, and Claudia has been at her estate all morning. They can't possibly be the same.
So, can I try to counteract her lies, or do I know she's lying?
You pretty much know. You
don't have any evidence outright by questioning.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I have suspicion, correct?
I'm a suspicious person.
Right. Okay. You have only the logic of your own character at this point.
That's fine. I believe that's all I have for today. Thank you.
Well, I'd appreciate it. As much as I appreciate your candor, remember that if you can give us some. Remember that it's Miss Osborne who we're really worried about, I say, grasping the stem of my champagne flute. And also remember that, you would do well to be judicious about what you report in the papers if you want to enjoy my future patronage.
Of course. I do have to tell the facts, but things could be changed.
Facts in a 1920s newspaper?
You get me all too well.
Meanwhile,
You
your
spot the
editor's in
pictures
your
off
head
the
going,
board.
there's a vigilante on the loose. There's exciting news, a story. Get me it.
Give me pictures
Exactly.
of Spider-Man.
Yes, damn picture of Spider-Man. Now, if you excuse me, I have to retire to my ablutions, which I've been neglecting.
Of course. I'll politely excuse myself for hopefully a cab ride if I didn't ruffle too many feathers.
I'm a fox, so it's ruffle with the fur. But I get your gist.
Of course.
All right. So, Edmund, what are you going to do for the rest of the day here?
I'm just gonna go to my return the car, of course, and either bus it or bus it back to where I live and start writing up my story.
All right. What exactly is the story you're going to write down here?
Well, I'm just doing like the preliminary stuff. Was I contracted to finish the story tonight, or was it go check it out and report back to me?
Your editor gave you very broad orders of, get me something, somebody has to know something out there. And it didn't sound like he was expecting you back.
Right, so I'm not going to do like a full paper, like and turn it in. Just get my notes together, get everything figured out on paper, and then write some sort of witch wall story about what I saw and everything.
All right, so you're giving sort of a narrative story of your events. Are you leaving out anything, like being shot at?
Oh, of course.
Running like a coward?
Yes, I'm just gonna leave a normal story. Building destroyed, picture of the door frame and everything. Just put it from that angle, like the sadness and that.
So almost a nothing to do about anything story then.
Exactly.
It's like
Just
we
fluff.
haven't heard any updates on this in a while.
Exactly.
Okay. Tell you what, why don't you go ahead and give me like a mind and a career roll
Sure.
to see what you write up here. I know you don't have craft, so I'm not asking for it. Let's see if you write up anything anybody would spend more than a second looking at. Hey, one success. Well, you're a proficient writer, and you don't think you made any editing mistakes this time. So you at least have something to demonstrate you did work today and didn't just leave the office and keep everyone from having to see you for 8 hours.
Nice.
Okay. I have a sort of retroactive statement here to make now, just looking through the books and seeing a second career that I might want to take. Would
Yeah.
the university be offering any sort of courses on parapsychology?
No.
So that's something
I don't
That
know,
is not an accredited degree you can take, young lad.
I
I'm
don't know.
afraid
We
we
have to
don't
look-
do fanciful things like that around.
Well, we'd have to look this up. This is the 1920s.
Yeah.
I
don't know,
believe
it's
it
like, I'm just-
exists.
I'd just say it's like I wouldn't be like surprised if it was just like some like elective course that could be taking.
Well, we do have some graduate studies going on in your psychology major.
Mhm.
Perhaps we could try to get you in on those sooner than later.
Okay.
Maybe you might learn something.
Fair enough.
What do you have to butter up a professor? Well, you can worry about taking stats and careers later. But the options are out there.
What do I have to butter up a professor? Not a whole lot, unfortunately.
Well, you better butter them up with some good study then.
It's like I have presents. I'm not sure if I can scare them into letting me take the class.
Demand your professor give you an A.
Yeah.
What you might do is you might convince somebody to make a large donation to the university.
Oh, I would
yeah.
have shut that place. I would have shut that place down if I heard about parapsychology.
It's like you're probably not the person I'd be
Oh,
asking.
Oh, it's okay. We don't believe in any mumbo jumbo or anything like those people saying that there's magnetism between people. No, we follow very strict scientific rigor here, based on the work of Sigmund Freud himself, and we do it at the behest of the US government. To explain